Hi, my name is Dimitri Jordan, and I am a commercial real estate advisor with partners. My specialty is investment sales. I advise my clients on the proper strategy for either buying or selling their investment property. I have a more advisory approach. I'm not transactional. I look forward to understanding what my clients' needs are. I've always been curious. I was 10 years old, and around the corner from our house was a guy that made signs. And every time I would look inside his shop, I was always curious about what he did. One day I went inside his shop and he told me what he did, and he offered me a job to help sweep out his shop. And he actually taught me how to make signs. In my late 20s, I worked at an auto parts factory in Milwaukee. And because it was in the mid to late 80s, there was a lot of up and down in terms of being laid off and called back, laid off, called back. And so I was laid off for an extended period, and my dad worked for a state agency in Wisconsin. And he noticed a flyer for the minority scholarship offered by the Wisconsin Realtors Association. And you had to write an essay and describe why you wanted to be in real estate. So I applied, and there were hundreds of applicants around the state. And so they narrowed it down to the top 20. They chose 5, and I was one of the 5. And so that's how I got into real estate. After I got my license, I was with a residential firm and really learned how to sell homes. I was always fascinated by commercial real estate, how that industry worked and how different it was from the residential world. And there is a purpose and need for commercial real estate. We live in homes, but we go to work in an office building. We get our prescriptions at a drugstore. We go and get a meal at a restaurant, which is in a shopping center. So commercial real estate plays an important part in our everyday lives. Retail is my focus because when I was an economic development specialist, my focus was retail recruitment. I worked a lot with retail businesses, and so I got a chance to understand how the retail property operates. One of the things I've learned is that I can't sell anyone anything. I'm not a salesperson. I call myself an advisor, a consultant. I give the facts, and it's important to give the candid advice if they're looking to sell or if they're looking to buy. I have to put my clients' needs always ahead of mine. The most rewarding part of my job is the people. In this business, I meet some of the most interesting people from all walks of life. This business that I'm in is also driven by relationships, and I have relationships with a lot of folks that may have started as a client, as a prospect, but over the years, they've actually become friends. The real estate industry for both residential and commercial has made leaps and bound changes. When I first got in the business in residential, there was a thick book that had all of the for sale listings for commercial real estate. So much paper was used to produce these books on a monthly basis. Today, everything is on the phone. That is technology. It is just amazing how far we've come. Then on the other side is the social media component of commercial real estate as well as residential. When I got started, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no LinkedIn. It was word of mouth or a sign. Today, one of the ways that we reach people is through social media platforms. That is just a dramatic change to the industry. And by embracing new technology or new ways of conducting business, that's how one stays relevant, because change is going to happen. So the first step is what we call the discovery or the assessment. I'll ask a number of questions, and at the same time, in that discovery process, owners are going to ask me questions about how I conduct business. These are things that are critically important to an owner, because at the end of the day, I work with owners that own millions of dollars of tangible assets. And it's a huge undertaking, and probably one of their largest investments. And so it's not something that I take lightly. So if you have questions about your investment property, especially as it relates to retail properties, give me a call. Let's get together. No pressure. We can sit down over coffee. You can come to our office and meet, or I can come to you. This is just a intro meeting to understand what opportunities there may be for you and your property in today's market.